How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Chemex versus. We think so far that this is our favorite way to make coffee with the Chemex. So we're gonna be pitting it up against other ways of making coffee. What do we got today, man?
Today we got Mr. Coffee drip machine versus the Chemex.
The cheapest one I could find. I think I bought this one, right?
Yeah, you did.
On like Walmart?
Amazon, I think, or something like that. We have used 28 grams of coffee here and 28 grams of coffee here. Same grind level.
Same grind
level, same amount of water. The thing that I've noticed, this one took about 2 or 2.5 minutes longer to be done, to extract. So I do expect difference in taste. But let's do this.
Let's get to it, man, because I haven't had coffee today at all.
Oh man, I don't know.
I had a bad day. I'm just gonna be out honest about it. I had a really bad day. So you know, I'm anxious to drink some coffee to try to equalize my anger a little bit.
Yeah, man. Let's drink coffee. Let's get caffeinated. Let's get high on our supply.
Oh,
and forget about this day that you had.
Dude, we could drop a rap album with us two on the cover
while we're high on our supply,
and we'll call the album "High on Our Supply," and we'll just be rapping about coffee. There's an idea.
There's an idea. You haven't even had caffeine.
Stay posted, everybody. Dude. Wait for the album to drop. "High on Our Supply."
No, don't throw the signs now, man.
Let's start drinking coffee.
Let's start drinking coffee, man. Okay, I'm gonna do the drip right away.
Yes, I'll pour the Chemex.
Let's pour the.
Wait. We were supposed to pour it into the other cups.
Into the other cups?
Remember what we said? That?
Oh yeah. Okay, so
last time we switched around the cups a lot. So try to remember, this is the Chemex with this logo, and that's the
is the drip.
Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Coffee drip. I don't know if I should just like write it in the marker, but we don't have it on us right now.
Yeah. I don't think we need this anymore, too.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to show that we're using our Columbia, yeah.
Cheers.
Hey, to my surprise, man.
This tastes just the way it should. Chemex.
Yeah, but I almost thought I'm drinking a Chemex up in here, man.
It is technically a pour-over method.
Wow.
You're basically pouring water over it in the filter, and it's dripping, so it's technically speaking, it's the same.
You know what?
Concept.
I expected the worst. I expected this to be a pretty bad cup for some reason, because it took it like 5 minutes to extract versus this one was like 3 minutes, maybe slightly even faster, maybe about 5 to 10 seconds faster. Let's see here now. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. This is a different this is kind of a different world, but I can't say that this is a bad world. It's different, but it's not bad.
It's not as good though.
It's not as good.
There's something in this cup that I don't like. I can't put my finger on it. It seems like it allowed something to pass through.
I think that's the longer time of extraction.
Yeah?
I think so, because the longer you extract, the more of that unwanted stuff comes in.
So it's bitter, it's more bitter. It's got a little more bitter to it, but it's got less flavor, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, I would say this has like pleasant flavor.
But I think the reason this one has less flavor is because of that bitterness that kind of overpowers
it, yeah.
Yeah, I think it does have plenty of flavor. It's just that bitterness really comes out.
Yeah?
Yeah, and there's a reason why extraction time is very important in any kind of coffee making. So this would be my solution to get a better cup for me, for what we like for Mr. Coffee. I wouldn't go for a recommended grind size. I would go for a coarser grind than I would go for a Chemex. Normally for drip coffee they recommend something like Chemex grind or smaller. So I would say actually maybe go a little bit coarser grind, and the water will drain a little bit faster for a faster extraction. I think what I'm getting out of this coffee is it's missing that interesting middle ground that this coffee has. This coffee has just enough amount of that bitterness that kind of controls that acidity so that you don't get too much of it. And then it's got that in the middle where you feel like that sweetness in the coffee. Kind of, right? This one, I feel like it's got the bitterness, it's got the sourness, but it's got no middle like that, where it's got no sweetness for some reason.
It doesn't have those delicious flavors.
It doesn't have that sweetness, okay, that comes with this coffee.
I think overall, Okay, look, people. I used to be a truck driver. All right, this coffee that we just had is freaking delicious.
Yeah.
I used to eat at diners and drink coffee made from this thing that's been sitting there on that plate for hours.
Yeah. So
and Folgers probably dripping into it, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
With my food, you know. So it's not like I'm some kind of a over snobby person, you know. When I'm saying that I don't like this and I don't like the Mr. Coffee and I prefer the I'm not saying it tastes bad.
No.
All I'm saying is that when you compare them side by side, the Chemex with the Mr. Coffee, the difference, the Chemex is so much better that it makes me not want to drink the Mr. Coffee.
Yeah, I think when you compare the two, but I tried the Mr. Coffee first today. I tried it first. You had the Chemex first, and at first I was like actually enjoying it until I had something to compare to.
Yeah.
And then that turned out to be better.
That's a philosophical concept.
So it was a good cup of coffee to me. I was like, yeah, this is not bad. It's going good. And then when I compared it to Chemex, I'm like, wait a minute, that's actually better. And what's going on here? And another thing about the Mr. Coffee, remember last time we made Mr. Coffee, we observed, we had the lid open where the shower head puts water on the coffee grinds. And it does not wet the grinds at the same time. Like when we pour with the Chemex, we get them wet right away, all of it, and they all get saturated at the same time. The Mr. Coffee doesn't do that. It takes it like half of the amount of the whole extraction time. Like let's say it's 5 minute extraction time. It's going to take about 2.5 minutes to get all the grinds wet in the first place. So it's going to be spewing water like in only like maybe half or maybe 3/4 of the coffee. And then that's going to be draining into this, and then finally when it fills up that filter with water to where it saturates everything, which happens towards the end, and then it takes a while to drain. Again, combine that with water temperature, which I think it seemed like it was hotter than what we use for Chemex, you know, and you have a different taste with a different kind of filter, because we did use exactly the same grind setting, exactly the same amount of weight of coffee and the same amount of water. So those three didn't change. Just the filter changed, the water temperature I believe changed, and the extraction time itself changed because of the device. So
I mean, if you look at it from a I guess physics, chemistry point of view, what the Mr. Coffee does to the coffee grinds is not good. It doesn't do a good thing to coffee, and I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say I don't like it. I don't like it. You know, we could sit here and try to sell you our coffee and be like, yeah, guys, it tastes amazing on Mr. Coffee too, but I don't want to do that. You know, I don't like how the coffee turns out from the Mr. Coffee.
These drip machines, whether it's Mr. Coffee or some other brand, okay, I don't care what it costs and which brand it is. You have to look at what it does to the coffee. So if it doesn't have a shower head or a way that it puts water over the grounds that covers all of the coffee evenly and kind of does an even saturation of the grinds, then it's probably not going to be, it's not the right way to make coffee. That much we know, that when you're trying to make a cup of coffee, whatever way you do, the reason you mix, when you put it in the French press and you first mix it with the spoon, is you're trying to saturate all of the coffee that you just put in there. You're trying to make that coffee saturate and release all the flavors at one time. Okay, so this drip machine doesn't seem to achieve that. It takes a long time for it to saturate even all of the coffee that's in the basket.
A lot of the coffee remains dry, even like halfway through the extraction
even more than
time.
halfway.
So they're extracting a tiny portion of the grinds that are there, and then the outer edges of the grinds, they remain dry until the very end, and then they become wet. So you're not extracting the coffee from there until the very end.
Yeah, and you're probably not even though you just got it saturated, you're probably not even going to get all the flavor out of it, because it just got saturated. You know, it takes a little bit of time and water flow for it to take out the flavor.
Yeah.
So again, just saturating the beans, unless you're doing a French press, it's not going to help just to saturate the beans. You have to have the water actually go through it evenly through most of the...
That's important.
They call it the bed, you know, the coffee bed when you actually wet the grinds. So it's important to have the water go through all of the grinds as evenly as possible and at the same time. And so there are drip machines that make good, they keep this in mind and they try to make it. One of them is, again, free advertisement for the company. Bonavita makes a drip coffee machine, and I think that's the only one they make anyway, that has a literal, it looks like a shower head. And it extracts, first of all, that machine heats up the water to the right temperature, keeps it between 195 and 205. And also, you have a pre-infusion setting on that one, which will do what we do with the Chemex. It blooms the coffee for you. It puts a little bit of water on the coffee and lets it degas.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it starts to do its thing. Also, you can remove the Sarac, is that what this thing is called? You can remove this thing and put a Chemex right underneath and use it to do a Chemex. So if you have one of those machines and you want to do a Chemex with its filter, you just put it right under and it does.
That's awesome.
Does everything for you. So we're actually going to get one of those. I really want that thing, and we're going to get it, and then we're going to make one of these videos with that. And I believe that's a high quality. In fact, Specialty Coffee Association had approved that for use. Like that's a big deal. They actually like that.
Yes, there is something called the Specialty Coffee Association of America.
And actually,
or not of America. I think it's international.
It's pretty international, and you can visit that site, and they have recommended like dosages, extraction times, and things like that for how to make coffee. Even for people that they set the standards for like cupping standards for people and you know, like the roasting and all that. For specialty coffee, you know, there's high quality standards.
Yeah. Well, I think that our beef is not with Mr. Coffee as a company. I think our beef with that is with their cheapest model.
The cheap coffee drip machines in general. For me, like if I was to make a drip machine, I would make sure that it has a good shower head where it actually puts water onto the grinds as evenly as possible at all times, saturates it properly, and I would take away the heating element. That's what I would do to that thing.
Yeah, because coffee tastes best when it's cooled down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? So if you're drinking it super piping hot right off the bat, you're not really getting any flavor.
Yeah, and also, like, I understand people who like their coffee hot. I understand that, but I just don't think that it does anything good to the coffee flavor when you extract hot coffee and then it sits there and it gets heated. It continues to get heated by this thing. I just think it's almost like it cooks the coffee. And probably, I don't know this for a fact, but I can imagine that it might impede the taste.
Maybe.
Over time, if you let it sit long enough on that heating element, it might. So I don't like those heating elements. I would rather just drink it cold than keep it hot for a long time.
That's true. If you have been doing this for a little bit, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, no, that is bad. That's the way it works in my brain. Maybe you're more open-minded, but I'm never gonna use that machine again.
Also, I don't want
for myself. Maybe for videos, but I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do drip machine, it's gonna have to be some kind of machine that keeps in mind the water temperature and even extraction and all that stuff.
Like the French press, I'll use that.
Yeah, French press is a good way to make.
Just for fun. I don't see myself ever using that machine just to make coffee because I want some.
Yeah, and I don't use this unless I really have to, which happens at work. And what I try to do is when it just starts to put water over the grinds, I actually open it up and mix it so that it gets even saturation of water, and then I'll close it. And I'll even take this off to let it get a little bit of water in it quicker, and then I put it in to help it, you know. But I do my own thing with it to get a better cup from this same kind of machine at work.
And you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to. It's basically, most people are not going to sit there and play with it like that.
That's the beauty of the drip machine. You press a button and then you go brush your teeth.
Yeah,
it does everything for you.
And that's why people get them. And so I get, not everybody's going to be doing a Chemex method. But if you want to get into coffee and you want to experience specialty coffee for what it is, I would suggest, like you said, to go with one of like the Bonavita drip maker or the drip coffee, whatever, rather than one of these. If you don't care, then you don't care. But if you do care, then I just feel like, look, if you're going to use a machine, you shouldn't have to sacrifice on taste just because you're not making it by hand. You should still be able to enjoy a really good cup of coffee, and that just means that the machine maker, whoever that is, should put some thought into making a machine that makes a good cup of coffee. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't ruin the potential in the coffee, because these specialty coffee is not cheap.
Yeah.
So I feel like
that's another thing, is you don't want to waste your coffee.
yeah, I feel like these kind of devices that are not made, it's almost like they're not made for specialty coffee. They kind of
No, they're
ruin
made
the
for
taste.
Folgers. I bet they're working together. Folgers and Mr. Coffee are just getting into a room,
Yeah.
and they're like, all right, how can we butcher the coffee as much as possible? What are we gonna do, guys?
Yeah, I don't want people to feel like we're like telling them to switch to Chemex or something like that. Like if you really like your method, that's great. As long as you enjoy your coffee, hey, by all means, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You know, just enjoy your coffee. That's all I'm saying. And you know, if you're doing what we just did with this, is use a machine similar to this, very cheap drip maker, just kind of know that there may be a better way. So the difference is, to me, I feel like the sweetness is missing in the drip machine made coffee versus Chemex. And it does have sourness that comes with the coffee. It does have that bitterness. It's just missing that really nice sweetness that comes with coffee when you make it in the Chemex and properly extracted. So for that reason, I would definitely go with Chemex. But if you don't like sweetness in your coffee and you want that sourness and bitterness, by all means, enjoy.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
Yeah.
everything comes down to whether you love your coffee the way you make it.
Yes.
You can make it the most wrong way in the world. People might hate you for making it that way, but
Well,
if
there's
you
no such thing
absolutely,
as wrong.
yeah, if you absolutely love it and you enjoy it and it makes you happy, then that's not the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it.
You know, yeah.
So. All right, guys. I think we're gonna leave with that. Thank you again for watching. I think we're gonna take off now.
Yeah.
And again, we're gonna deal with the consequences of drinking all this coffee. It's
Yeah.
not early in the day; it's the evening.
Oh, man.
So, good luck to us. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and let us know what you think about our highly opinionated views here. Yeah, you guys have a wonderful day,
and stay caffeinated.